and check out Modern Warfare 3 campaign before you buy. The reason I didn't buy the Modern Warfare 3 game and the multiplayer as well as the campaign, because I really heard bad thing about it, and I decided to skip this year, and hopefully in the future it will be better. The next Call of Duty is gonna be better. So let's see the before you buy Modern Warfare 3 campaign by gameranx.
Hey, and we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions on the latest games releasing. And today we're talking Modern Warfare 3.
I heard it's really short.
We're a little late on this, but before the rest of the game launches, here we are talking specifically about the campaign. So, quickly following up last year's Modern Warfare 2 is this Modern Warfare 3 campaign. And we sometimes break campaign and multiplayer into separate videos if people are interested enough. And I'm usually the campaign guy, so yeah. I've played every Call of Duty campaign, good and bad, just because I like a nice, fun, bombastic adventure. I'm kind of casual with the multiplayer, but these campaigns always just kind of feel like big, silly action movies. Sometimes short, but sweet and full of action. Unfortunately, Modern Warfare 3 is really short and not really sweet, and not really full of any exciting action. It has a few moments here and there, but these moments feel out of place because the rest of it just feels so slapped together. It feels like a real low. Now, just before we keep going, we're not playing a review copy. We bought this, and this footage is captured running on PS5 and is spoiler-free. So anyway, housekeeping aside, the setup here is the gang is in action. You know, Ghost, Price, Gaz, Soap, Laswell, Farah, all kind of assembled after the interesting Modern Warfare reboot and the OK Modern Warfare 2 campaign. They're doing their thing until the big bad villain, Vladimir Makarov, shows up and the world is under threat as he and his army works to do bad guy stuff, frame other countries, launch bombs, and cause chaos. This one feels most removed from the previous games, because like despite some end of the world stuff going down, like the stakes, a lot of it still feels really low-key and presentation-wise and tonally doesn't quite match up to the previous two campaigns, especially the first one. Kind of just starts and moves along with the occasional cutscene, but a lot of it is told over like voiceovers over maps. And I know none of that stuff is like out of the ordinary for a Call of Duty campaign, but nothing really exciting ever happens. And again, despite like nukes and bombs and bad guys, there's really just a couple of moments here and there. There is still Price, who is definitely the standout here. I've said it before, I've said it again, like the actor behind him just feels unique and the character has a really good presence. But most of the characters they've also built up don't really get to shine as much as they could in this game because, I'll just be frank, this is a really, really short campaign.
Is it just me? Graphically as well, I don't know if it's because they are playing this one on PlayStation 5, although don't get me wrong, on PlayStation 5 games can look gorgeous. Like if you have seen Spider-Man 2, it looks amazing, and Final Fantasy 16, but like doesn't look that appealing. And I don't know if they just didn't put a lot of attention in the texturizing and the graphic values in this one, but yeah, it's undercooked.
It might take you like 4 hours on one playthrough on normal or hard. Listen, if you just play multiplayer, you probably don't care.
Also, I don't know, did he mention, is he playing on performance or fidelity mode? Because one of them will give you better the performance will give you better frame rate, and the other one will give you better graphics.
But hey, even if you're buying this as part of an overall package, it still needs to be up to par. And that's the biggest problem. It's not only that it's just a few hours, it's that it's not a very good few hours. To the point where some missions aren't even really missions. Like with good planned enemy encounters and scripted moments and interesting level design, all that stuff. Some missions actually are just kind of glorified bits of Warzone, the multiplayer mode. Yeah, these quote-unquote weapons-free open combat zones you're dumped into are chaotic.
I still do love the shooting.
And you run around and you can find special
how the guns sound like
rare weapons or other drops to change your operator loadout. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, it's Warzone. It has a couple of little stealth spins on it here and there, but yeah, ultimately, a handful of missions in this campaign are just mini Warzone, which is what you'd get if you wanted to play multiplayer. And the problem with like these big open-ended missions is that the enemy AI and encounters are just not exciting here as they are in like the main normal thought out missions. The enemies are just kind of running around, running towards you, and you know, it's fine, but just nowhere near as satisfying or fun or engaging as a standard classic Call of Duty mission. You also just lose out on interesting levels and good shootouts in fun, thought-out areas. Here now, it's just open fields with generic bunkers or
this guy who's playing. What are you doing, man?
And crates and boats. Plus, the objectives usually just amount to run here and grab this. Bring up your map, just go to that thing and do it, you idiot. That's it, really. Like, it might sound harsh, but again, if I wanted to play Warzone, I would just play Warzone. What makes it feel worse is that there is still genuinely good stuff tucked away in here. I still think that after building characters from the last 2 games, they would have done a little more with them here. But at the very least, a couple of cool moments, like this lethal chemical attack where you're running through an office building as it spews in through vents and under doors, and people are running around dying in front of you. They're trying to bust through doors and bust through glass just to survive and get away from the gas, all while you're running and fighting your way to get to an exit. It was short, brief, but still genuinely harrowing.
That's what he said.
This game does kind of do a new spin on the controversial No Russian mission. You know, the airport civilian shooting from the original Modern Warfare series. That original mission made headlines.
I love guns. I always loved in Call of Duty the sound of guns.
Way too far. But either way, it was a creative choice, and it was cemented in video game history and fandom either way. Now, this time around, it's like a new brutal Makarov scheme, but in a different setting. I don't know if it's going to hit as hard or like stoke mainstream conversation as much, but still, I found it genuinely terrifying and unsettling. Mission accomplished there. They did something compelling. And Makarov himself is also compelling. He's a charismatic villain here.
Yeah.
He doesn't get too much time, but there could be something there. Also, he
Isn't
looks
he
like
the guy?
Gary V, and that's kind of funny. But still, with this game, it only feels like one major thing happens, and then it ends on a cliffhanger. This is gonna sound harsh, but playing it kind of really felt like this was just made out of obligation. A placeholder just to keep the brand going, or serve
Makarov is
as
a bad
like
guy,
a special box checked.
Was it the guy from the airport,
just re-download the massive, obnoxious file size Modern Warfare to then just kind of get a bunch of pop-ups for season passes and Warzone ads as soon as I even fire the game up. Now listen, I know I am not the target demographic for most of this package. And again, we haven't talked about the multiplayer and all the other stuff, but we're talking campaign here today. You know, I haven't been hardcore into Call of Duty multiplayer since like the original Modern Warfare. But still, I think most Call of Duty campaigns have something of merit.
I completely agree with you. The big problem of Call of Duty is that they release on a yearly basis, and that's why it's undercooked, and that's why they cannot always come up with epic stuff and cool stuff. It's a different mission.
Fun, silly little adventure. And it feels like they finally cast single-player adventure content to the side here. Or at least are just kind of limping it along half alive. Because there are these sprinkles of these creative moments. Makarov being a little scary. You know, the new No Russian incident. A couple little encounters here and there. Price still just kind of being a badass. There is some stuff here, but it feels like the team wasn't given enough time or budget to really flesh out a compelling new adventure to play through, and just kind of slapped some Warzone maps together. I was disappointed, to say the least, but this has kind of felt like it was inevitable.
Disappointed
there was a Black
to
Ops
say
just
the
a few years
least?
ago where Call of Duty was like, nah, we're not going to do single player here. The new Modern Warfare reboot was a high, but it does feel like they're losing interest in single player, fun adventures, campaigns, and that's a shame. Maybe I'm old, maybe I'm becoming a dinosaur, but I don't like to see that.
To be honest,
not too much more to
at this point, release a separate campaign game, and for people who are into campaigns, see how much there is interest in it. Make it a longer game, like 15-hour game, but release it every 3-4 years. You don't have to release it every year. You know, at least that's my opinion. So just keep it into multiplayer and battle royale or whatever you have it there when it comes to the actual yearly events and yearly games that you publish.
Say here, I am pretty harsh on it. I know if you're just looking for something and you blast through it in 3 or 4 hours and you are at least like, you know, moderately entertained, there is that. But I don't know. I just expected more here. Potato. This just clearly feels like a smaller side project that gets in the way of zombies and the next big Warzone thing. But hey, that's just me. This is a before you buy. You know how this goes down by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. And now I want to hear yours down in the comments. What do you think about this campaign? Chances are, if you jumped into it, you finished it already. What do you think they're going to do if they do a Modern Warfare 4? Modern Warfare. Let's go. Let's talk anything about this, about Modern Warfare 3, whether you're interested in the rest of the package, if you want to see us cover that, or you're just, I don't know, looking for something to watch about video games today. If we helped you pass the time there, all you can do is click the like button. It legitimately helps us.
Thank you.
But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for sharing. This before you buy is almost as long as the campaign and much more entertaining. I agree. It makes me want to play the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 campaigns. I remember playing them over and over while playing multiplayer. Perhaps the worst part that which isn't mentioned in this video is how abruptly the game ends. There is no build-up. It just feels like another routine mission. Then suddenly it's credits rolling. Like, wait, what was that? The final? What was the last mission? Yeah, that is terrible. If you don't have a compelling beginning, climax, ending, you know, with some kind of, let's say, some kind of a build-up as well for a next part, something that people will look forward to for the next one, then yeah, you kind of missed the point. The last mission was mission was asked. They had so many loopholes. Yeah, undercooked, brother. Undercooked.